So you want to become rich, you slog and slog and slog. So Swadhishthanam is the place where the Kundalini energy is residing. I have seen people working, buying a car, buying a fridge, buying a house and all that. There is nothing in that. Somebody asked Osho, why do you have 100 Rolls Royce parked? Osho said, the question is you have to ask yourself what you really want to do, from where you want to start. But Sri Vidya is capable of giving you all that you want. This Kundalini energy is represented by the Divine Mother called Shakti. Sri Vidya is not so narrow that item wise it needs to be taught. Multi-dimensional levels mein mantra works. Whole gamut of knowledge is just shifted from his brain to my brain. What power they have in their eyes and what power they have on their tongue, what they speak turns out to be true. These sages hide their blessings. They never, openly say what they do or what they did. And for a while he looked deep into my eyes. Then he said, now you go back and read the book again and let me know. Amazingly, that whole range is called Ramagiri Hills. And those of you who have seen the Hindi movie Sholay, it was all shot here only for 2.5 years. They had constructed a village for that. And seeing Dharmender, Hema Malini was a everyday affair for people here. But that time we had not had this place. I just heard about the shooting and all that. And if you have read my book, you already know how I feel about film and shootings. So only one response? Yes. And it is said this whole area is charged with Hanuman energy of devotion and love for Rama. There is at the end of our ashram road, it's called Kanwa Reservoir Road, there is a beautiful temple, Hanuman temple, very ancient one. So sometime you can go and visit, but I don't, it will take more than half an hour. So it's little far this way. Nothing very special as far as, my visit was concerned, but it is a very ancient temple. The only is they offer non-vegetarian prasad also. I don't know, in different context. And they cook somewhere at the back of the temple, little away from the temple. I don't know what is the scenario presently, but 2 times when we started this place, no construction and all that time I visited. So I was not kind of feeling okay with that. I didn't go to that. But Hanuman statue is very tall and big. Acha, 5 inches. Any other response?
Illuminating.
Liberating and illuminating.
Both. For the time being, I didn't know where I went. It was few seconds. For a few seconds, I didn't realize where I was. I had lost, I couldn't feel my legs or anything out there. And the wind was amazing. I would say.
Tomorrow also can go and visit and come back.
Sure.
Because our meditation session starts at 6 o'clock.
Okay.
Before that you can come back. And it will be in the cave meditation.
Okay.
That's going to be a very great experience for you all. Because that cave is charged with the energy of the sages.
Amma, just one question. Going somewhere and not feeling the body conscious is fine. But the moment we feel it back, there's a lot of kind of pressure. There's a lot of kind of pressure. So that is what we need your help to, I need help to understand how to manage that.
That is precisely because of the impurities in the body and the mind. Until that gets subsided, the toxicity from the wrong food, wrong thought process, even wrong the negative thought processes can create toxins in the body and in the brain. So even when you have certain glimpses of divine experiences, that is momentary. And then you come back to your normal lower self. Then the lower self starts wondering, what I went through as a divine experience, was it really true or not? Because they don't match with each other. That heightened awareness and then this lowest feeling. So you have to kind of slowly bridge that gap and stay in that total awareness. This is the reason why I decided to do the Soma series. All the lectures through the year. It's just a beginning in September. 2025 is Swami Rama's centenary celebrations. If he were to be in the body, would have been 100 years old. So, for that centenary celebration, I am committed to offer this knowledge of Soma series, which is blessed by him and the other sages. Give it back to them. So through the year, I am planning series of programs. It's said to evolve. And the first project that, of course, one project was offering this book. That's over. And second one is this retreat. And Gaurav is planning one more retreat in Vietnam. That temple, Tirumaichur, which I have referred to in the book. Last year also, January 1st week, we went there for all Titi Nitya practices and mantra initiations, next mantra groups. About 25 people had come with us. And they have a beautiful, Swami Malaime, beautiful heritage center. Staying facilities extremely good. Food-wise, and they have a big Yajna Shala. So where we performed Havan also. It's a beautiful place. More than anything else, Sage Durvasa, Sage Agastya gave his darshan. And later on I came to know that that place is taken care of by both Sage Agastya and Lopamudra, his wife. Even to this day, late in the nights, some people have seen them traveling all over that area in the astral body. People say that. It is possible. I don't have any doubts. And the most sacred part is Hayagriva, Sage Hayagriva, revealed Lalita Sahasranama to Sage Agastya to be passed on to the next generations in that spot, in the temple. Temple is also very beautiful. Meghanath is the Shiva and Lalita Tripura Sundari. So that's one of the plans, to have a retreat over there. It all comes under Soma series. Planning to do one in Tadakeshwar. Don't know. Because staying facility has become a big issue there. That ashram which Swami Rama used to stay has become very old, and we have been kind of, supporting them financially for repairs and all that. But rains are very heavy there. So again and again there are issues, repairs and all that. And after September it will be too cold. And we'll have to wait until March. Maybe Is it not, Dr. Ji? March में थोड़ा अच्छा रहेगा. So probably March or April, plan to do one retreat in and one international retreat in Amritsar. These are the plans. देखते हैं how it can be manifested. I have not given a very serious thought about it. It's all in a scattered manner because I have to check out the whole year event. 2025 entire year. I'm just waiting for the Ranveer podcast to be out. Dates he has not yet told me. But already they have a lot of recordings, he said, lined up and all that. I am not in a hurry, but there will be some kind of connection to what we plan for the whole year, right? Let's see. So, coming back to today's session, 12 energy centers. Krama Dvadashakam is the name of the dharana. About Vijnana Bhairava Tantra text and technically what is dharana, I will be telling you by and by. Today we will focus on the practice part, and whatever explanations you need to understand the practice part, I am going to focus on. Okay? So take those scripts and just have a look at it. Second and third one. Second one also kind of, we gave a touch of perfection to this one also, pranic body. So also Kundalini absorption in Supreme Bindu. Kundalini absorption in Supreme Bindu depends on, the understanding of the Supreme Bindu depends on how well you understand the first and the second. So third one may happen or may not happen. Okay? So, but these three are connected, all the three. And these energy centers are greatly complementary, very supportive to Titi Nitya practice of Sri Vidya. I think among you all, 95% of you are, I think, already initiated in Titi Nitya, right? So I thought this dharana from Vijnana Bhairava Tantra, it's called VBT, shorter, will help you to understand the Titi Nitya practice with a greater depth and dimension. Again, those who are not initiated also, independently also if you practice, this will help any of your spiritual practices. Your meditation, your pranayama, your dharana, your dhyana, your asana oriented practices, everything gets immensely benefited. So because of this multi-dimensional benefits, I thought I would impart this knowledge to you all. Just a small story before I really start this. One day, my Mysore Gurukul, I call him Rasa Gurukul, right? He called me over the phone and from Mysore and told me that he wanted 3 books from Vedanta Book House here. It is very well known for spiritual books. Vedanta Book House Center. So can you buy and bring it to me? He asked. I said, okay, Gurugale, I'll bring. I went and the book was not available. Then I had to place the order. And then it took some time, say about 1 week's time, to collect the book. And then I really rushed to meet him. Then I placed the books in front of him. One was Vijnana Bhairava Tantra. The second one was Shiva Sutras. And third one, I am not sure which was the book. Then he picked up the book and, just he flipped through the pages like this. Oh, okay. You have brought it? Good, good. Then he flipped through the pages and then kept it away with David. Then there was a question mark on my face. So he said, actually, I wanted it for some research paper that I was writing. And I wanted to refer these two books. But now that work is over. That research paper, ka work ho gaya. So I don't need these books anymore. So with blessings, I am giving it back to you. Take it back. I was really sad. Then Guru Guru said, why are you so serious? There is nothing to be serious about it. I've seen the book now and given it back to you. It's for you. It's yours, he said. Nothing like that. And after that, we had some normal conversation. And then when I came out of the house and we are walking towards coming back to Bangalore, my husband asked me, both of us had gone together. Did you understand what he did? I said, no, I only know that I am very sad that Guru Guru did not accept the books. He said, just by flipping through the pages, he blessed that book, gave it back to you. I really don't know whether he wanted it for his research paper. It was just a way of saying, because these sages hide their blessings. They never, openly say what they do or what they did. So my husband said, it has come back to you with a blessing. You will understand why in course of time. अच्छा ऐसा भी होता है. Then after some time, couple of months, 3-4 months afterwards, one day suddenly Guru Guru asked me, are you reading the Shiva Sutra? I had been reading, but I never told him that I am reading. Then since he asked me, I felt that there must be something very significant. I said, yes, Guru Guru, I am reading, but as long as I am holding the book and reading, I feel I understand. And then when I close the book down, I feel nothing has gone into my head. Feels very complex. Oh, is it so? And he became very silent. Then he said, what about Vijnana Bhairava Tantra? That is very entertaining, but many of the dharanas are very difficult to understand. It's highly esoteric and tantric, right? Very mystical and mysterious. So same is the case with this book also, I said. Oh, I see. Is it so? And for a while he looked deep into my eyes with a smile. Then he said, now you go back and read the book again and let me know. Amazingly, wherever, whichever page I read, because they don't have a single connection. Anywhere you can read. They are all sutras. I was able to understand. This is what a Sri Vidya Guru can give you. through drishti. I have written all this in this, my book. How gurus make use of their drishti, what power they have in their eyes, and what power they have on their tongue. What they speak turns out to be true. They are all siddhis silently residing in them. And they are always the masters of the cities. They never run after cities. So I realized what Guru Guru had done by imparting this knowledge of Vijnana Bhairava Tantra. So, like Titi Nitya Upasana, it was not taught like how I am going to teach you all. It just came in silence. It's so very hard for the mind even to understand what I am saying. I know. It comes in a flash. And then you have to work on it. It's hard work. But that whole gamut of knowledge is just shifted from his brain to my brain. To simplify the matter I am telling. And that happens only when they mind. And when they really want to give. And the question comes, why? Is it given to everyone? If it is given to somebody, why? They look at the larger purpose while blessing any disciple. See, you can approach your sadhana path in different ways according to your karma samskara vasanas. It is the same mantra Guru gives to everybody, but it works individually at different levels to different people, and it continues to work in you, the same mantra at different levels as the time passes by. So, it is very idiotic to think that one mantra is over and we move on to the next mantra. The purpose of that mantra is finished. Because our mind is trained in this modern education. LKG mein kuch padho, then you drop everything and then come to the second one, third one. Like, there is no interconnection, it feels. But in spiritual practices, it's not so. Whatever you learn is yours. And it's always connected to the next phase of your spiritual evolution. That's the beauty of it. So for each one, it works in different ways. The same mantra, when you take and do the mantra, japa, it works in a different way. Say, for example, now Kameshwari Vidya. And then some of you have moved on to Bhagamalini. And some of you, the third one, fourth one, fifth one, like that. It's a heterogeneous group. Some have already crossed. What is yours, Dr. J, your mantra, Nitya? Which Nitya mantra you heard? Vijayani. Sarva Mangala. Okay. So last but two. But even though he is in Sarva Mangala, the 13th or 14th one, he is still expected to practice Kameshwari. So the dimension of Kameshwari, when it is given to you, keeps evolving until your last breath. So it's not that you do the first mantra, drop it and go to the second, like that. There is no dropping business. Even if you drop, it doesn't go anywhere. It's with you. So I always suggest that at least 3 times you should do Kameshwari. Then do the next one, three times. And the latest one, 108 times. So that ultimately we are talking about energy. Mantra ultimately works in you as energy, Shakti. So that evolution of these 12 energy centers is continuous, non-stop, unhindered, always supported by your practice. And I remind you that you are dealing with a live wire charged with electrical particles and lightning. So you cannot play with the mantras. When you do the japa, that particular energy starts residing in that particular part of your body. That's what we are going to learn today and tomorrow and day after. So mantra is one approach of the 16 Tithinityas and supported by these 12 successive stations of energy, because it makes you understand what Tithinitya practice is all about. That's why I said both of them are complementary. So ultimately it is awakening the Kundalini Shakti. Somebody asked me why we should not address the Mother Divine as Mother, but she should be addressed as Shakti. This is one of the reasons. When you say Mother, you are limiting her, branding her. The concept of Mother to the Divine Mother is given. No doubt it has a lot of significance. The first significance is that among all the relationships, the relationship with the mother is the closest to each individual, each human being, whether man or woman. Where you feel that kind of an openness. And as a child, you have total trust in the mother. Right? As a child, you never question whether your mother is going to feed you food or not today. Does it come to your mind? As a child, it never. You are all the time busy playing, and then when you are hungry, you remember the mother, and the mother is ready with the food, taking care of you, protecting you, all these things. So the Divine Mother is also associated with these qualities. So when you do this Shakti Upasana, the mother aspect of it gives you a very good emotional support to all of you, by which you start going through a wonderful inner transformation. You may know, you may not know in the initial stages. All those qualities which you see in the Divine Mother start getting back to you. For example, the mother is meant for the element of protection and love. These two qualities become very strong in you when you do this practice. Your heart chakra starts evolving. Somebody was asking me whether I want to teach chakra meditation. Morning, somebody was asking me. Sri Vidya is not so narrow that item-wise it needs to be taught. Multi-dimensional levels mein mantra works. You don't have even an iota of an idea how the mantra works in you, the dynamics of this mantra. So these qualities that you try to see in the Divine Mother, and you do the stuti, praise. Why stuti is so very important in our spiritual practices? Name any, even Guru Stuti. So many shlokas have been written and thousands of pages of commentary on that. Guru Ashtaka, Shankaracharya's. Stuti is one thing where we, limited human beings, think that we are praising Bhagavati or praising the Guru so that they are pleased and then we are blessed. That's only a very small part of it. How esoteric it is and mystical Sri Vidya practices are, that by your mere stuti, say the dhyana shloka that you have been given, I keep emphasizing, don't skip the dhyana shloka. Don't skip it. You feel you don't have time, and for you people, mantra, mula mantra is very, 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 very important. Come out of all this nonsense. Mind wants to cheat you. Here I am telling you, who has gone little ahead of the journey, how insignificant the Mula Mantra turns out to be later on. It's just the reverse order. And I have been telling you that this Dhyana Shlokas describing the Mother Divine is an outwardly appearance. But these Dhyana Shlokas are filled with lot of siddhis. Even if you are not interested in siddhis, which is well and good, but because siddhi is a trap. But there are so many other aspects which are described there that you become. How you become divine. This is the beauty of Sri Vidya and particularly Samayachara, because that's why it's called highest. I took the example of protection and love. Until you become a Sri Vidya Upasaka, you will be looking around for protection, you will be looking around for love. Because you feel you are always incomplete, insufficient. So you are looking for these things outside. Why do we love somebody else? Don't think that you are all very great people, that you are capable of loving somebody else. ऐसा कुछ भी नहीं है. You are hungry for love. You are looking for it. And you hoping that if you love the other person, you will receive what you are hungry for. This is the truth of this human mind. Now, coming back to Sri Vidya, this stuti, praising the Mother Divine, will come as a benediction to you. All the qualities that are described there, you become that. Then, when you become a spiritual person, spirituality means it's a journey from the lower self to the higher self. So when you attain that level, then what actually happens is that the things that you are looking for outside of you, in relationships, in success story, and in attainments, name, fame, wealth, property, name anything in this world. What you're looking for, they all become yours. And looking for love outside, and in the process, you become so abundant in that love called the universal love that you will be capable of giving it to others. You will not be looking for others. That's why Sri Vidya means abundance. Abundance का मतलब ये नहीं कि बहुत पैसे आने वाला हो सकता है क्यों नहीं, if you ask for, that also will come to you. Depends on what you want to ask, and depends on the strength of your practice. The strength of your practice. Okay, if the dire need for you is money now, that Monthly, you are not able to manage with your income. It's very bad, very poor. Ask for it. There is no problem. But you should also remember that you should evolve from asking for money to something much better and better and better and better. Otherwise, Mother Divine will be very upset with you. ओके बेटे तुम्हें पैसा चाहिए तुम्हें मैं नहीं चाहिए ले लो पैसे forget me but an intelligent upasaka, these are the secrets I am revealing to you. Intelligent, all these things I cannot tell during the mantra initiations and all. That's why retreats are very important for your evolution. The secret is, if you are capable, honestly, not ask anything to the Divine Mother. It's not very easy. Now that you heard that Amma has told, Mother Divine will give everything and anything, you are tempted to ask, right? Or maybe some of you are very intelligent, you have already known. You must be already started asking and manifesting also. But people are scared to express it. They never express it and inspire others. मुझे मिल गया, मुझे इसको बचा के रखना चाहिए बस. People become very selfish. So blessings also become very small. Chota soch, chota blessings. So the point is, what you are looking for in the material world, you become that. So there is a kind of contentment and fulfillment that मैंने सब कुछ देख लिया, experienced it. Secondly, you need not experience everything and then say enough, because that will take many time, because your list is very long. But there is a shortcut. Baba keeps talking about these shortcuts in his videos and books. The shortcut is how to fulfill the desires. There are two ways. There are many ways, significantly two ways. One is called Vihangama. Another is called ಇರುವೆಗೆ ಏನು ಹೇಳ್ತೀವಿ ಸಂಸ್ಕೃತದಲ್ಲಿ? ಇರುವೆ and pipilika. One is pipilika way, another is called Vihangama way. Pipilika is the ant. You have seen how quickly it can move around. It cannot. It winds its way like a regimented soldier in a life. And if you sit and watch the Pipilika Gati speed, you find that from this point to that pillar, it would take about half an hour. But Vihangama is the opposite of it. Vihangama is the bird view on the top of the twig of a tree. Just one glance and it can see the whole Vistara. So, Vihangama is the Jnana Marga, where you use the physical body and your emotions and thoughts along with that to fulfill your desires. So, you want to become rich. You slog and slog and slog using your physical body, time, 9 to 5, 9 to 9, endlessly. Then you start becoming richer and richer and richer. Dhire, dhire, dhire. This is called Pipilika. So this is one way of fulfilling your desires. It can be any desire. But Jnana Marga is like a sword. Like the view that you get in one shot of a bird, called bird's view. You can see around you how people are. I mean, Jnana Marga, through Jnana Marga, you can see people around you, how they are trying to fulfill their desires in different ways. Jnana. And you absorb the truth as a whole, not bit by bit. Karma Kanda, Karma Marga is bit by bit. Every day you have to slog. And then you say, has come? Okay, 5 minutes. A Kashaya break for you. Then give the knowledge to the mind and say, I have seen people working, slogging, and then buying a car, buying a fridge, buying a house, and all that. There is nothing in that. Jnana is enough for you to understand the whole process. You need not go through like an and. Buy a car and then see what it is and the futility of buying a car, then build a house and then see the uselessness of building a house. It will take many lives. That's what we have been doing. Life after life. इस जन्म में कार का हो गया, फ्रिज का हो गया, बट घर का नहीं हुआ. So come back next and then start that desire to be fulfilled. So through Jnana Marga, you can just कुछ नहीं चाहिए मुझे. You can drop all the desires. But the thing is, the mind should be deeply convinced about it. Not out of compulsion. Say, for example, you are a very lazy fellow. You don't want to work hard. But the desire is there. Why? But looking at the hard work, you'd say, nahi chahiye. मुझसे कुछ नहीं होता है because you are avoiding the karma marga and jnana marga both and you are trying to escape and stay in ajnana. That is ignorance again because there is no inner transformation. You are trying to escape. So gurus say if you have a very strong desire, better to go through that process and finish it off. If you cannot apply the Jnana Marga and with one thought process, you understand the futility of what it is and then put an end to it. Done. Like a sword, you cut it off. How much time does it take for the sword to move from left to right and then cut it off? Swish. But it's very difficult for most of the human beings, and especially in certain desires. Some desires, probably you may be able to do it. Somebody asked Osho, why do you have some 100, what is that car? Rolls Royce, parked. Osho said, I know that at a time I can use only one car and the rest of the cars will be lying there. But the thing is, my disciples want to see me driving different cars on different days. ठीक है? That is the power of manifestation. The question is, you have to ask yourself what you really want to do, from where you want to start. But Sri Vidya is capable of giving you all that you want. But if you can not ask for anything, it has to be a very honest understanding. That is where the trap is. Okay? Honest understanding, you drop everything and then you get everything. That dropping has to be seriously honest to the core. That is where sadhana comes. The importance of sadhana.